Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. I don't know about you, but I struggle with a pretty amazing lack of humility inside myself where others can't see it or hear it or perceive it. Maybe you're not like this, but often as I watch others interact, as I pay attention to the news, I just feel like if people would just think the way I think, and believe the way I believe, and act the way I act, and do the things I do, that it would just all work out a lot better. The level of arrogance in this noggin here is absolutely dizzying sometimes, as far as thinking I've got everything figured out. And at this age, I just have to laugh at it because I've lived long enough to be very sure that I'm getting things wrong as much as I'm getting them right. And, in the places where I'm especially sure that I'm right, I am almost certain to be dead wrong. Today we're going to be talking about Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8, which goes like this. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Let's read through that again. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Check out that first part. Don't be impressed by your own wisdom. That's some pretty great advice there. Most of us have to live quite a while before we start to grasp its truth. And of course, there are some people who never outgrow their certainty that they are the wisest person in the room. How do you feel, though, when you spend time around someone who very clearly thinks they're the smartest one in the room and all the other fools should just be quiet and listen? How do you feel around those people? It's pretty rare to have others admire your wisdom when you're busy admiring it yourself. Human nature makes us want to stick a pin in those people to let some of the air out, doesn't it? What about that second part? Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Here we are, back at that business of fear the Lord that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago here on Wisdom Wednesdays. If I'm deciding not to consider my wisdom the latest, greatest thing, then in comparison, what might it look like to fear the Lord? Maybe it looks like having concern for what God has said is best. Maybe it looks like basing my words, my decisions, and my actions on the parameters set up in Scripture as I understand them. Maybe it looks like praying more, listening more, surrendering more, and spending less time talking and less time on my own very important opinions. But what about this promise for healing in your body and strength in your bones? What does that have to do with it all? And that's where we have to return to the truth that God is our creator. God knows what's best for us. He's the only one holding the owner's manual, right? He knows what's best for our physical health, what's best for our mental health, what's best for our relationships, what's best for our finances, for all of it. God knows what's best. And the parameters laid out for us in Scripture spell those parameters out. Not to rain on our fun, not to deprive us of great experiences, not to mold us into uptight so-called perfection, not to force us to live in guilt when we can't live up to it, but to keep us whole, to keep us safe for ourselves and others, and productive, and free, and full of joy. And that is our challenge this week. We need to check ourselves when we start to think, that really I'm the smartest one in the room, and be quick to compare what I am doing with what Scripture says I should be doing. The more closely those things are aligned, the less likely we are to behave in ways that will cause us to need healing further. Certainly we've all done enough damage and need enough healing. Am I right? Before we go, let's repeat these verses 3 times to try to start to get them into our heads. So here we go. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. Again, don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. And one more time. Don't be impressed with your own wisdom. Instead, fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Then you will have healing for your body and strength for your bones. And that, people, is our bit of wisdom for this Wednesday. Not my wisdom, the wisdom of the Proverbs. Take it with you into your day. Invite God to use it to change your heart, to change your mind, to change your life, to change your relationships as you meditate on it and work on memorizing it. And so we'll see you next week. And until then, have a great week.